You're listening to the Laughing Couple podcast with your hosts, Brittany and Ryan Ostafy. Join them weekly as they discuss topics such as relationships, kids, sex, parenting, all unfiltered and all with a healthy dose of laughter. Please welcome your hosts, Brittany and Ryan Ostafy.
Okay, look at our setup.
For the lights to turn on and off.
I feel like we're hosting like a Christmas special or something.
It's like we are or something.
Yeah.
Except we actually have real people and we're
It's
in
the
our
Santa
living
Claus parade.
Okay, so we have, I'm sweating because I'm so excited, but also nobody knows. We just talked to them for 20 minutes because we had technical difficulties. We have Brett, Kissel, and Cecilia here. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Hey guys, how you doing?
Thanks for being so patient.
It's the Canadian in you.
Yeah.
We're very, very happy to be talking with another couple. We think that your display in the background is
Beautiful.
amazing. It does look like a winter wonderland. Wherever you are in your home right now, it looks amazing.
The rest
you
of
so
it
much.
is an absolute dumpster fire, so we're not going to pan at all.
This
There
is
will
a
be
one.
no
This is
panning.
a one-shot pony here. But thank you very much. My wife decorated it herself with my mother-in-law.
Yeah, Ryan watched.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
Hopefully you got the drinks at least.
Yeah, well, he was drinking while it was happening. You know what would have been better if we had some Deuce.
Deuce
Yeah.
vodka.
Oh,
Yeah.
Our next podcast will make sure you've got that.
and I can literally say that if we had some juice vodka right now, if you were having a drink, we were having a drink, this podcast would just instantly, honestly, just be so much.
Would it go?
No, it would go up. It would be way better because the more you drink, the better
it
we
is.
sound, especially the better I sound.
The funnier for sure.
Well, I can promise you in our
Absolutely.
coffee mugs there is zero coffee in there,
It's
That's
but
good.
there is water.
vodka.
Yeah.
Pure vodka.
Oh,
There is.
see,
There is.
if
There
you
is.
had booze, it would have been like, hey, good, those are my kind of people.
Well, we are your
But
kind of
we
people.
gotta pick up the kids, so
Yeah.
we're gonna just Uber them home. So before we get into like all of the things, we do this icebreaker, which we guys told you about, called "I Love You and You're Annoying," where you guys get the opportunity to tell us one thing about your partner that is like super annoying. We know you love each other. Meh. We just want to hear that one thing. Cecilia already has hers. She's ready to go. I'm going to give you the floor.
I'm a little worried, to be honest with you, that we might get something like
I'm excited.
ground earth shattering
I'm
on this
excited.
one.
Let's hear it.
And I will say, just a quick sidebar, before Cece and I do anything, if we're going to go, we're so aligned as a team. This is the first time, though, that this is going to happen where we haven't really discussed something of like, okay, are we going to go mild, medium, or hot? Because we rarely do interviews together. This is very, very special.
Yeah.
So now that you're like, I love you and you're annoying, I do wonder what she's going to say.
But as soon as I say it, he'll know. He'll be
gonna
like,
know.
"Oh yeah, you've been saying this for
Yeah.
5 years."
And
so.
you
Yeah,
don't
the
get to rebuttal until she's done.
The
Like,
trick,
you can't say
here,
anything.
Brett, is you just go second,
Yes, I agree.
and then you know the temperature of the room.
So what is it, babe?
That you stack all the dishes in the dishwasher, even if the dishwasher's empty, or in the sink, even if the dishwasher's empty.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He's like,
that's
100%.
But
me.
it is a mystery. It's a massive mystery because Brett has OCD and everything has to be, it's just this one weird thing.
So, you stack them in the sink when they're dirty?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Is the dishwasher in proximity far?
That would be the weirdest thing in the world if you just stacked them in the dishwasher when they were clean.
No, I just meant like maybe he was like, it's like he'd rather clean them and put them to dry on the other side of the sink rather than just, you know what I mean?
No, that would be fine.
no, what I do is it's a system, and I'll explain the system. So I'm clearing the table from dinner or any meal that we have, and I'll organize everything. So it's not a small plate, then a big plate, then a
takes
mini
time.
plate. It's all the big ones, probably 8 big ones. Then I put about 4 medium ones, and I put all the little ones, and I stack all the kids' cups like this and everything. That's how I organize it.
Right.
Then
Which takes
from there,
longer than it would to
then I put it
them
in the dishwasher.
The dishwasher.
Right.
that way I can clean.
No, honey, no.
But by then I'm already distracted, or I'm like, it's good enough, it's in the sink, I'll move on with my day. So yes, I rarely, once in a blue moon, will actually come back to the sink to put it in the dishwasher. And I think I know why that frustrates you, because you're like, okay, well, clearly he put it in the sink because the dishwasher is also
This
full.
happens, yeah.
Right.
But then Cece opens the dishwasher.
No, so
Inaccurate.
I'll see the dishes and I'll think, oh, dishwasher's full, carry on with my day. Kids got to go, don't have time to empty it. I'll come back around. I have time in my day. Kids are napping. I'm
Yeah.
going to put the dishes in the dishwasher, open the dishwasher. And so, because I add mine to the pile, open the dishwasher, it's empty.
So I got to be honest with you. Last night we had this same, it wasn't an argument. It was very peaceful.
Was it?
It was very gentle because this is Brittany. Brittany does the same thing. Hold on. No, hold up. No, you said
This
you can't
isn't
rebut.
about me.
You said you
This
can't
is
rebut.
not about me.
So here's how it
Okay.
worked. I said to Brittany, I said gently, Brittany, the dishwasher is empty. There are things in the dishwasher that are slightly dirty because they were used. Can you please put your dirty dishes in the dishwasher? Because if the dishes that are in the dishwasher stay in the dishwasher without being washed, they'll go
essentially-
moldy.
You wanted me to fill it.
Just
so we
fill
can
it.
start it. Okay.
Fill it so we can start it.
Yeah.
Which in another way is saying, please don't put it in the sink.
Okay, but in my defense, I feel like I'm running around and sometimes I just throw everything in the sink so I don't see them like cluttered on the counter. And then like I'll get back to it and like wash it at the end of the day. And like, let's not forget, I make every meal in this house. So
Yeah, that is
Just
The saint over here. Now, is it okay if I refer to you as Cece, because I've heard it 3 times now, and I just want to make sure that I'm allowed to do that because
one time
I do appreciate that.
your good friend Stephen Lee Olsen, I thought Steven, short form is Steve, called him
He was
Steve,
like,
not
no.
happy.
He's like, no, bro, that's not my name.
Now
on the
that's funny
podcast.
because I mean, he's
So
such
funny.
a young guy. He's such a young parent and everything like that. And Steve is just such an old name.
It is.
He's like,
I
so
never
yeah.
thought about it.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
like, no, he's like, I'm not Steve. You can call me Steve, but never Steve.
Like Steve is like, he cleans the gutters and stuff on like a Thursday afternoon. Like that's not Steven,
Yeah.
right?
That's what he
It's a
said.
big difference.
That's
Okay, Brett, it's your turn. You get to do one, and just tread gently because we have the entire podcast left, and we want Cece
Yeah.
to be.
No, I'm
funny.
aware.
Oh, no, go ham. We might as well get our therapy out here.
Yeah. So
This is
I'll
what the
just
chairs
say
are
that I'm
for.
completely aligned with you, Britt, on that, and exactly how you're like, okay, no, I'm just going to clear this area, just put it all in the sink and get to it later. That's exactly my rationale. My challenge that I find annoying is on Cecilia's nightstand.
I knew you were going to say that.
And so we both have the same nightstand, and there's nothing better than coming into your bedroom and it's like your bed is perfectly made. I love to make the bed. I love when it looks beautiful, like a
He likes,
wonderful
the
hotel
room.
suite.
Yeah.
Right.
It just looks amazing. And then I just glance over to Cecilia's nightstand where there's 75 rolled up Kleenexes, 4 empty wrappers of something, 4 empty bottles of water, a lamp is tipped over, vitamins are
Things
here.
get aggressive
It's
at
just
night.
it looks like the Edmonton dump.
Okay, that's a little
let me-
extreme. But
Sorry.
I
So
do
let me
have
get
chronic allergies.
So let me get this straight. You like the look of a hotel when you arrive, and you like the look of a hotel when you leave.
Yeah, you both like hotels.
It's still the hotel look.
It's fine.
It's just,
the morning after.
yeah, the morning after.
I'm notorious for like the 6 glasses of water. They just build up. I feel like it's Signs. Do you remember
Yeah.
the movie Signs, where like all of the glasses of water like were part of the aliens when they came? That's part of Signs, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll swear it is.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
Just keep swinging.
Shut up. Okay. Okay.
So I'm trying to make a Christmas deal with him that we can switch, that he'll do the dishwasher and I'll do the nightstand.
Get it.
So you guys only
Right
have
on
2
track.
things that annoy each other about each other. Like
That's
if
amazing.
you solve those 2, everything else is like perfect.
You're good.
That's
Well, then-
And
amazing.
we'd probably have to find something else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, annoying is like a little thorn in your backside
Yeah.
that doesn't really become a massive
Yeah.
issue. I mean, in
And-
marriage
And that's
and
fair, because I was going to say that whenever we talk about it, for a while when I would talk to him about it, he would get triggered. But I'm like, this isn't to say that it's bad, wrong, good, whatever. I just want to know the root of it. Like, what's the thought behind it? I want to understand, because this is such a strange thing for somebody
Let
who
me
has
understand you better.
such a clean, everyone
Yeah.
he has such a
Help
clean
you.
freak, and I'm like, it's one thing that I just don't get.
You've just moved into your dream home and you're renovating it.
How's
Yeah.
that?
How does that work with OCD behaviors?
it's one of the most difficult things for me to manage my anxiety, to know what this incredible property is going to become to know how far we've come already. I'm extremely proud of the work that Cecilia has done, as well as our team. So it's difficult for me not to lash out just in what my personality is when things aren't getting done, when actually they are getting done, they're just getting done in time. And I have to really, really work on my patience. So that's been a struggle for me, but at the same time, I'm very grateful that I feel like I'm navigating through it reasonably well. And one of the things in terms of the dishes, thing that we've solved is one of the weirdest goals I've ever had in my life was to get to a point where we can have an amazing space and a gorgeous kitchen and have 2 dishwashers side by side
that you won't
so
use.
there's the sink,
each side of the
dishwasher here and a dishwasher there.
But this is
so
why,
I get that.
This is why it's been such a focus, the dishes, which is so funny. How long are we going to talk about this? But
I love it.
I do feel like we actually did do a poll last year or the year before. It ended up going kind of like one of the most viral things on our stories because this is something in everyone's marriage. There's it may not always be the dishwasher, but it kind of seems it's like that that memes that says this person, you know, who likes their temperature at freezing cold, and then it'll show this person who likes it at very hot, will find each other and will marry each other. 100%. And that's kind of the same with the dishwasher and how we kind of function and operate. But what really brought it to light is I said, okay, Brett, we're going to do 2 dishwashers, but then you can't leave them in the sink. He still said, I'll probably still leave them in the sink.
Probably. They'll just look beautiful in the kitchen. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
We had a therapist came on one time because ours is the laundry. Brittany can't stand me with the laundry. I'm terrible with it. I get it. I admit it. It is the sink for me. And we had this therapist on one time who said, you didn't marry Ryan because he's good at laundry.
Right.
So you need to figure out why you love Ryan, why you married Ryan, and then find a structure that works for the laundry, because that's not your marriage. Your marriage has nothing to do with the laundry.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with Ryan and how it works. And you got to find a way to make it work. So it sounds to me like the 2 dishwasher system is the same advice that we got, and it's going to work out for you guys in the new house. That's great.
Totally.
For sure.
And there's something to be said there too, because we talked a little bit about this before we hopped on, and that's the balance of kids and family and life. And as things change, I think we all have come into it with different belief systems and conditioning from our own family. And then you come into it and you bring those expectations and go. And try not to fight, try not to argue about it. It's like, oh, my mom always did the laundry, your dad always did the laundry,
right?
You know, whatever the situation is, and then you try to replicate that, but it doesn't always come out in translation.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of, go ahead.
And I think it's very important for us in every different season and every different chapter of our marriage, which you could take it month by month, you could take it year by year, you could take it decade by decade. You know, us crossing over and being 10 years into this marriage, is that there's an opportunity to change every time. Mm-hmm. There's an opportunity to start fresh and start today. And maybe something that worked before is not going to work now.
It's good to reassess, like we always talk about. We have these like informal, quarterly like meetings where we basically just have a glass of wine and we're like, listen, this was working the last 3 months, but right now you ain't doing shit. Or like something just happens and it doesn't work because it's a new season or whatever. No, but we're not trying to make the other person wrong for it. We just say, hey, look, like this is where I need your help here. What can I do for you? How do you guys manage? Like, I want to know about the transition, because it's always fun to ask people, what was the hardest transition from no kids to 1 to 2, or 2 to 3? Which one was the hardest?
That's a great question. They might be different. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's the same. Like for you as opposed for me.
What I'll do is I'll just start and just truly express that every situation and every family dynamic is unique. So for us to compare our situation to your situation and yours to ours, I feel is a disservice to the great parents that you must be, and how your kids are thriving, and the network in which you're creating, the community in which you're creating. So
what might work for us may not work for others. That's
right. So I just want to say that just because we may have more kids or we may be busier, as I hold up air quotation marks, busy is so relative, because sometimes I feel like I can handle a lot on my plate. That's the way that I was born and raised. That's my genetic makeup, you know, but just because of that, it doesn't make us any better in any way, shape, or form. But the transition, I'll just quickly talk about that. And Cece is a true expert on parenting. I'm convinced of it after watching her do this for 6 straight years, 24/7 for almost 6 years with Mila. And I also married Cecilia for many reasons, but one of the greatest reasons was because I knew in my heart she was going to be the best mom. I'm not saying a great mom. I'm saying the best mom. And our 3 kids hit the lottery because they've got Cecilia. And I tell them that, and I'm going to tell them that when they're older. I'm going to tell them that when they're freaking 45. Yes. And they'll be like, I'm having a struggle parenting. Why can't I do it like mom? And I'll be like, yeah, you probably can. She was the best.
Oh my gosh. Don't say that.
I won't. But transition. One kid was very exciting, but also extremely challenging for me because I'm still very selfish. I still am.
It's a work in progress.
But I was extremely selfish, and I had the world was my oyster, and travel, money, life, freedom, all of these things just happened. Whatever we wanted to do, and especially whatever I wanted to do, I could just do it.
Right.
Literally, if I had an idea in my head today that I want to go to Vegas, I would go to Vegas tomorrow. Why? Because I can.
Which we did. We
did
that.
Yeah.
And we did that all the time. But now you've got a little baby, and it was restructuring my mindset to understand the true blessings of this little kid, still understanding that I can do a lot of these great things to fill up my bucket and to bring me joy, but understanding that it's not about me anymore, period, the end. And that was difficult, not to share glory or anything. It was just to readjust my schedule and know that Cecilia is doing all of this for the children. I know that if I want to be the dad that I want to be, I need to be there 24/7 as well. And I really want it to be.
Can I touch on that one?
Yes.
Before you go to the next one? Was I would say as well, there's a saying that says like the birth of your first is the death of self.
I love that. I just got
goosies. And I think that's like such a great way to describe it, because you can't possibly know until you're a parent all the things that you're letting go of. And there's nothing in life quite like it. That's like, now you're responsible for this human. You have to keep them alive. And furthermore, as a mother, like typically and traditionally, it's the male that leaves the home, gets a bit of relief. And any husband who has stayed at home with a newborn or a baby for a day and a night, I would say at minimum a day and a night, would have an appreciation for the fact that a woman doesn't get to typically shower, get dressed up, have adult conversation, adult, engagement and all of these things. And it's super vital, I feel, for relationships for them to do that, to just have a deeper appreciation for what really goes into it if you've committed to be a stay-at-home mom. I don't know many people who experience newborns. I know a lot of people who babysit kids maybe like 6 months and up, but there's a whole nother thing when you're like at home alone with a newborn. It's like, it's a lot, but.
And then when you add, like I would say ours is similar, but at the same time, I think because we weren't exactly planning our first,
but she's lovely and she's here.
But the second is hard because now you're not only managing your emotions within your relationship, your firstborn, but now you're managing everyone and making sure that they're getting their fill. Like as a mom, you're like, okay, I need to make sure my partner is getting this from me. My firstborn feels like they're important, and then my newborn, obviously they need me to stay alive. There's nothing left for you, and it's hard to manage.
Yeah, it was difficult for us because we had 4 years with our daughter before our son came around.
We forgot.
We were like,
Well, that was hard in itself, but we had such a strong bond with our daughter. We knew her, she knew us, and then all of a sudden it was trying to tell a 4-year-old that the roles were different, without making her feel like she wasn't as important as she was before. She couldn't have mom's time completely. She couldn't have my time completely. There was a lot of divide and conquer in that first year with it. That was really difficult for us. But Brett, you talked on, you had mentioned something, and I'm so glad you did, because in these interviews, you don't really typically get the rawness that you provide for us. And I don't want to step over it when you talked about being selfish. Success is not convenient. It never has been, it never will be. And it really, truly does require a degree of selfishness for you to be able to turn that off to turn this one on completely and be fully present. When you're on stage in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people winning awards left, right, and center, because you're still doing that. Congratulations, by the way, on the 4. You have to be fully present over here. And it's impossible to be fully present over here if you're fully present over here. How do you allow yourself the freedom and flexibility to be in both places? Because you're a great father, you're an amazing partner from the sounds of it, but you're incredibly successful and like in such demand to be on stage.
There's a lot to unpack there. I mean, I really, really appreciate, so much of what you said. For me, there's a couple of things, and I'm on this journey, and there's no winning here. Like, it's not that I'm going to win the game later on when I look back. It's a constant journey, and it's very important for me to be self-aware. And in this current season that I'm in personally, as a man, as an entertainer, as a husband, as a dad, in this current season, I'm self-aware enough to know that I've still made a lot of mistakes and I've made a lot of errors. But the minute that I think that those mistakes don't matter is when I'm losing at the game. So for me, I'm in a season right now of true self-awareness and self-reflection, because it's a brand new chapter with us as our kids are getting older. Cecilia is getting a lot busier in her business. We've bit off so much, I'm not going to say more than we can chew, because we're chewing it and we're surviving, but it's being self-aware is the number one most important thing for me. And then also trying to achieve symmetry. And for me, balance is a word that is so it's used. It's an important word. It's a good word, but I don't want to do balance, because balance to me means I have to take away from this to give to this. And I have to take away from this to give to this. I'm a guy who loves the word and, not or. You can only do this or this. Bullshit. I want to do this and this. And if I don't have a mentor or someone to look up to that has done it, I want to figure out how to do it myself. That takes self-awareness and an incredible partner. So instead of balance, I try to achieve symmetry. So both things can be going well, mirroring each other. And I can assure you that if my marriage is failing and if my life with my kids is failing, my business is pretty shitty too.
Right.
And if my business is shitty, it's also because this is shitty. If this is really good, it's very funny. My business is actually really good at the exact same time.
It's difficult when you love something and your partner isn't aligned to it to not take that personally. But what I'm hearing is that you guys are committed to your relationship. You're committed to your family, and those decisions, at sometimes they're selfish, sometimes they're not, but they require commitment on both parts, because if you're going to be over here, someone has to be taking care of everything over here. And now that you guys are in this new transition, what I really hear is that you guys are having these conversations on a regular basis, checking in. And what I really like, because you said it earlier, you didn't put this word to it, but we use this word, is you don't have any morality around it. It's not right or wrong. It's effective or ineffective. And you have to be generous with yourself and open with yourself to be able to accept that communication without really making it wrong, right? So that's what I hear. It's very impressive to hear.
If you're not tuning in to yourself, how can you express your needs to another person?
Exactly.
So to take that time to sit with yourself, even if there's a moment, and I've worked on this really hard this year, and I'm triggered and I'm pissed and I'm ticked and whatever, I will go sit with that. I'm not going to talk to anyone about it or react and really get to the root. And sometimes it has absolutely nothing to do with Brett. It happened.
Right.
I follow Russell Brand because he's hilarious and he's become this spiritual guru, but he puts it still in a funny way. And he said, if it's hysterical, it's historical. And it's if you're out of control, it actually has nothing to do typically with what's in front of you. It's because it struck a nerve with something you haven't maybe healed with your past self, and then figure that out and then be able to express, okay, this is why that really hurt me or bothered me. And to be able to, just sit with it and sort your own shit out.
one of the things that I think about on a regular basis for me in self-reflection and self-evaluation of myself, as well as this relationship with Cecilia, is that we're two humans and we've come together, we've created life, we've created business, we've created opportunities, we've created a family, culture, community, because the two of us got together. But the reality is saying, is this serving us right now? Is this still what we want? And even at the end of an argument or a debate, or at the end of this season of self-reflection, I still can emphatically say, right now, I want this more than anything else. So I'm willing to let anything else go, which includes country music, which includes money, which includes fame and wealth and all of these external things. And I'm really driven by external validation, which is not the best thing when you actually bring. So
to an extent, I think that comes with the territory.
But the thing I freaking love the most is Cecilia. That's the one thing I can't live without. Now, maybe, just maybe, honestly, there could be a time where it's like,
yeah, maybe the thing is worth it. And that's okay too, actually. I mean, being honest with ourselves, it's like you see so many relationships where they're doing it out of like needy entitlement, righteousness, self-righteous, like all of these things. And it actually is okay for relationships to end in a season if both parties aren't being fulfilled. You see so many times they just hang on like for the kids or this or that. But it's like to be able to be honest with yourself, this relationship is still serving me and I love you. I want to be here. So how are we going to figure this out? But then that also on our part, if Brett's going to be that bold and say that he would be willing to sacrifice it all, I also have to be respectful and really choose my battles on like, so that he does trust when I say, this is too much. This is stretching us too thin and your family needs you. Then, you know, there's that major trust that he's going to trust my judgment. And I'm not just like, you know, call it like, crying wolf. And that I'm going to trust that he's going to follow through and show up for us as well.
Sure, because that could, create resentment too. If it's, if you know that I'll give everything, I'll give it all up.
Yeah. It's a lot of trust for sure.
We want to ask you one question. We ask, okay, where were you, Brett, and who did you call? Or maybe it was you, Cece, who, like, when you heard your first song on the radio, who was the first person you called, or did someone call you and say, holy shit, I hear you on the radio? Not your raspy voice, because it was like previous to that. So your true voice. But what were you doing? I always find like this moment is probably ingrained in your brain.
There are many moments for me because there have been different versions of my career. You know, when I was a little kid, I was played on the radio as an 11-year-old, a cover song of a Hank Snow song called I've Been Everywhere. They played it on a cassette on the local radio station called CFCW that was broadcast across Alberta. And I remember hearing it at breakfast time. And I was with my grandparents, I was with my parents and my brother. And I just remember eating jam and toast and jam, and how unbelievably excited I was to hear that. Right. But then my career, I graduated to a national level. And when I started with a song for the very first time, Cecilia was in the room.
I feel like we were driving.
And that's right. We were driving on our way to the radio station to go celebrate the release of this single, but they had played it first. And so that's what I remember. You might have a different recollection, but being in the studio with Cecilia, celebrating that moment. And I'm a big celebration guy. Everyone else can have their first single on the radio and just pull over and share a couple tears and then keep on with your day. No. I knew what station was going to play it. We brought in champagne, 7 a.m, champagne and orange juice. And we have a big old celebration with all the radio stations in Edmonton, our home city, how we can. So it's a moment for them to remember the same way it's going to be a moment for me to remember, because no one ever does that.
Well, and it's a big deal.
Funny story is that in the control room, we're drinking champagne. The song had been played. We're with the radio DJ. I do like a 20-minute interview. Cece's on the interview a little bit too. and Cece knocks over the champagne.
I don't remember that.
She's like,
all of the equipment at Kissin' Country, they went into emergency mode where they had to go to another studio.
I blocked it out.
And they had to like press a button, call an engineer at 6:45 in the morning and be like,
sorry, Jack,
get in here. We need you. And like literally it was like DEFCON 7 because all of the equipment went down.
Right.
And so they had to go to another studio because Cece spilled champagne.
They have rules.
They'll never forget that though.
That was it. That was the first one. I liked it. So here's a cool, like, I'm not an artist. I can't sing. I would love to. Sign me up for karaoke all day long. I'll perform, but I have a terrible voice, and even my daughter tells me to stop singing. So I want to understand what this would feel like. So you write a song, you're by yourself, you write this song, you hear it on the radio for the first time. That's really cool. What's it like to stand on stage with thousands of people who are singing it?
I feel like Iron Man.
Mm.
Robert Downey Jr. has that thing right above his heart. And if he gets, I don't know, whatever, if he's mad enough at the bad guy, puts his arms down and just this ray of light comes out of his chest.
Power.
Literally the best answer.
That raw energy, getting the chance to stand on stage at the Calgary Stampede or Big Valley Jamboree or Boots and Hearts, you've got 30,000 people. This is sacrifice. This is hard work. This is everything that you've put into this. And it's all come to this moment that is 3 minutes long. And I get to experience that for 3 minutes in this energy that I just give to the crowd. And the best part about it, you guys, is it's a competition between me and the crowd because I just gave them everything I possibly can. And I sang and my veins are popping and I'm sweating and I'm singing this epic song that's up tempo or truly pulling at your heartstrings. And then 30,000 people do the exact same thing and give it back to me.
Right.
And I get to do that for 90 straight minutes or 2 hours of back and forth. And we one up each other song after song after song. It's indescribable, but I try to paint the picture of this feeling in my chest that just goes out in just this blast of energy.
Yes.
Yet it's a transaction because they give it back to me for 25 straight songs.
I feel like I'll never watch another person perform live without being like, they are Iron Man.
They're now Iron Man. So here's the cool thing. Your kids, maybe you've never thought about this. Maybe you have. If you haven't, I'm glad I'm bringing this to your attention. Your kids are blessed because they get to witness both of you. You're both entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
They get to witness both of you create your lives.
We like to call it a creation ship.
Most people in the world today, they do the standard 9 to 5. They pay their bills. That's what life looks like for the majority of the people. But there are very few people that get to do what they are passionate about. They get to create what the next move is. And I can even reverse it because now you're on the entrepreneurial side of things and you're creating your programs. What is it like to see your partner live out this passion that they have?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. I definitely can relate to what you're saying when you feel, you watch Brittany. I feel similarly when I watch Brett write music as well, like when he tunes into that. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time and sometimes it just flows out so quickly. But I would agree with you to get to watch someone and witness someone be their whole self. And for me, it's like to witness you fulfill your truest calling. I always joked that Brett, like when God made Brett, he had a mold of like this country singer and he just like poured the cake batter in and out comes, little Brett Kissel with his cowboy hat and his guitar. And yeah, I mean, I get super emotional when I see him out there. Like I bawl like a baby. I just cry and cry and cry because people, I don't know, I think it's a really beautiful thing. Like there are artists who, let's say have anxiety with the public, which isn't Brett, but still like choose to show up and share their gift. There's all these layers. It's like you may be incredibly gifted with meeting people and connecting with people, which Brett is. Like he loves to meet his fans. He loves I'm not that person. Like I'm a very behind the scenes, hi, I'm over here, but like I'm not crazy about being like, I get a little anxiety when there's like thousands and thousands of people, but to see him get up there and to share that gift with others, to share pieces of himself, and he's only become more and more vulnerable with his music. Like as the years have gone on, it's not about, you know, writing a hit as much or doing something that's trendy, but like what resonates with you obviously resonates with others. So to see him tap into those parts of himself and then choose to share that with the world and everyone who wants to sign up and listen, I think is a really rare and vulnerable. You get up there and you don't know like what people, I always know how people are going to react, but really there's a chance that they might not embrace it. And then to see the way that they embrace it and the way that it moves them or changes their lives is really powerful.
There's one lane here, and that lane is, do your fans love you or not? And everyone has fans. If you're nominated, you've all got fans. But then it's like, which fan base
is the most dedicated,
is the most loyal, is the most
invested,
fierce, is the most crazy for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so
it speaks volumes for sure.
It speaks volumes. So to receive that recognition in the night is unbelievable, because we all have support from the industry, but this is that one step above for me. And so I'm extremely grateful. And what I did this time around is I've got this fan club that is called the Kissel Crew, and it's 16 members, and they started this without me. They've got an Instagram account, but as I got to meet all of them over the years, these are 16 super fans. And super fan has a negative meaning to most people. And I feel it's one of the most special things, because these are people that I truly believe would do anything for me. So the Fans Choice Award last year, I gave it to one of them, physically gave it. And I said, you know everyone in the Kissel Crew, pass that award and mail it like the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Yes.
And so it's going across Canada right now, and each one of my fans in this exclusive group are living with the trophy for a week. And then they're just posting about it, and they're telling everybody at the grocery store. They're telling everybody at work. This one girl, she took it to work, and she just like, anybody who wants to visit with it at work gets to hold this trophy. So it's actually spreading so much joy. Yeah. And it's more their award than it is mine. And now I'm just proving it.
That's cool. It's the Kisselhood of the Traveling
Award.
It's so Canadian of you, like the Stanley Cup, to allow each member to have it for a week. That's pretty cool. I can't help but think, when you're talking about the biggest fan base, there's a scene in the movie Anchorman where each station comes down and they have this fight. Oh, yeah. As you're talking, I'm thinking, all right, Brett's got his posse with him. Who's got the grenade? I just killed him.
Where did he get a grenade?
Brick, I think you need to lie low for a while.
I think you need to lie low for a while.
Tried it?
Yeah.
I gotta watch that movie now. You guys, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with us. We're actually going to talk to you again. We're going to do a little Christmas special, right? We're not going to make you sing because we know that you're still...
Don't make me sing. Don't make me sing.
But thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And we will fly down to Alberta and drink your vodka ASAP.
You're invited.
You guys love each other so much, and it's evident.
Yeah.
It's evident. It's a very special relationship that you guys have. I know it takes a lot to make it happen. And I'm so glad that you were able to share it on this show, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time.
We do. It's our pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.